Hey guys, my name is Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, and today is a very exciting day because I am finally doing another DIY video. I can't even tell you how long it's been since I've done one, but I have a lot of little projects to do that I would like to get up into my booth, Green Onion Vintage, but I think you're really gonna enjoy all of them, so let's just get right into it. Now first up, I'm going to be painting this piece of barnwood into a barn quilt. I've been wanting to paint more of these and I just haven't got around to doing it. It's kind of tedious because the lines have to be so perfect. So I've just been putting it off, but I think they would actually sell really well in my booth. And another thing I want to try is making a barn quilt out of barnwood. I think the wood ones make such a cool piece of decor, but they're pretty intimidating because you have to fit all the pieces together like a puzzle. So I was so happy when I found a really thorough tutorial on Woodworkers Guild of America, and I'm so grateful to them for sponsoring today's video. Woodworkers Guild of America is now my go-to online resource for any kind of woodworking project. I consider myself a major rookie when it comes to woodworking. I know the basics well enough, but beyond that, I could really use some instruction from a professional. Woodworkers Guild of America has video instructions and project inspiration for every skill level of DIYer. Their premium videos cover everything from table saw techniques, sharpening your blades, gluing, cabinet making and staining, and even shop safety. Here's a look at the barnboard quilt that I'd like to make in a future video once I'm able to get my hands on all of the needed supplies. You can see that there's an in-depth step-by-step video here at the top, but down below I can click on download instructions and I'm able to get a full document explaining the materials needed, the project instructions, and the best products to use so that the barn square can really last. Members can also find live tutorials every month on Woodworkers Guild of America and interact with the teacher in real time. And since it's a full community, you can connect with other makers and share your woodworking ideas and solutions. I can't wait to explore this website more. There is so much to offer, and I'm really hoping that I can become a better woodworker by following their tutorials. And if you want to check it out, the first 1,000 people to click on the link in my description get a full year of the premium access for just $1.49, and that's for the whole year. Totally worth it if you want to grow your skills and get inspired by all of the content that is waiting for you. Now, I did kind of choose this rustic piece of wood on purpose because I feel like because it's so rustic, I won't have to make the lines quite as precise, which will be a good chance for me to practice this. I am trying to freehand this one also. Last time I used tape and I just used so much painter's tape and it still wasn't perfect when I was done. So I'm gonna use a ruler to kind of measure out my pattern and then try to just freehand paint it. I think that'll go better for me. And this is my painting process. All right, I got a little smarter and I went ahead and just made myself a 7-inch template. This is just out of some cardstock that I had laying around. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but I think it's gonna help speed up the process. So at this point, I'm realizing that I didn't need to measure out squares at all. I could have just done a really long straight line that would have eventually intersected, almost like a big plaid pattern. But you know, we're learning as we go here, so that's what this channel is all about. My high school geometry class was really serving me well here. For this part, I was just making a 3.5-inch triangle cutout on the edges, and that gives you the 2 points from each square. And then, of course, with 4th of July coming up, I thought I would do a red, white, and blue theme. I thought about adding some white in there too, but then I didn't want to get too busy, and I was just trying to do a lot today. So I went with just red and a really nice dark blue. I thought it looked pretty primitive and perfect for the 4th. Now I'm just going to distress my paint job a little bit because I feel like I don't like fresh looking paint on old worn wood, so I want the paint to kind of match the age of the wood. I'm so excited to be working on this little children's hutch today. I've had it in my daughter's nursery, but before that I had it in the booth for literally months and it never sold. But it is so cute and it has a ton of character. And I know I'm going to get some backlash for this, but I am going to be painting it today, at least parts of it. I think if I just cleaned it up, give it a little bit of a new life, I'd be able to sell it really quickly. I'm going to start off by stripping off some of this old varnish. I'm going to be using some oven cleaner to see if that will do the trick, and then probably take my sander to it. And then the rest I am going to paint. I know that's going to make some of you guys a little upset with me, but I really think it's going to be so cute. So let's just get started on it. I like to clean off the oven cleaner once it's gotten bubbly like this. You can see here where it's picking up some of the stain. So I might let it work for maybe 1 more minute, but now that it's nice and bubbly, it tells me that it is working and it's almost ready to be wiped off. And you can see I did it on both layers here. Watch how much stain was removed just from 1 coat of the oven cleaner. It's pretty amazing, and even though it's not going to take out all of the color, it takes away that sheen so that it's easier for me to sand or do whatever I want to for the next step. Well, I wasn't going to sand this all the way clean, but I had 2 errors with the stain. One stain was just old and it looked terrible when I put it on. So I sanded that off, and then I went and bought new stain, brought it home, and it's the aged barrel color from Minwax, and it just went on completely dark gray, like a dark gray paint almost. Even when I wiped it back, it just looked terrible. It was not the look I'm going for this piece. So I went ahead and sanded everything off, sanded it as clean as I could get it. And I'm just going to put a clear matte top coat on this and just let it be like this. And honestly, this is kind of what I wanted to do in the first place. I was just trying to avoid the work of sanding it all down. But here we are. This is what happened, and it's fine. I'm going to try to clean this glass off. Yeah, I think that'll all come off. And here is the aged barrel that I was trying. Now it's definitely like a grayish brown, but more brown than it actually came out for sure. I thought this picture looked like a grayish brown, and it was definitely just gray. So watch out for that if you're looking for a more brown color. And then this is the polyurethane I'm going to use on the wood. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin. Restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy. I was able to squeeze in a quick trip to Goodwill this morning. And I found a few things. Just a couple of them are going to be like DIYs for today's video, but I thought I'd show you everything I bought that I'm going to put into my antique booth. First was this little jewelry holder that you put on the wall. I actually really like this. I'm tempted to keep it. It was $4.79. But this kind of stuff tends to sell well in the booth that we're in. We don't have to have strictly antiques. We can also have just like repurposed items or thrifted finds. I got this little wall art. It was only $1.30, which is basically why I bought it, but it says, "That's what I do. I read and I know things." I just really like the colors in this and the book theme, of course. I thought that was cute. I've been trying to like not buy frames because I don't know that they're as popular as they used to be, but I really liked the size of this one. It's nice and chunky. So I'm going to paint this, distress it a little bit, and it'll be a quick sell probably. It was only $5. And next, I was just thinking that I should go to Hobby Lobby and get another round blank sign that I could do some gingham pattern like I did in my last video for my daughter's nursery sign. And I wanted to show you guys how I did that. So I went ahead and grabbed this at Goodwill though. They had almost the same one. This is actually MDF, where the one I used for her nursery was, I think plywood. It was like a little bit more wood than this was. Originally this is $30 from Hobby Lobby, or maybe from Michael's actually. No, Hobby Lobby. And it was $13 at Goodwill, which is kind of crazy, but it was 25% off. So it was maybe like $10. But it's nice and big. Saves me a trip from driving all the way over to Hobby Lobby, which is like 25 minutes from my house. This is probably my favorite thing I found there. It's this nice big vase for outdoors. It's got like a wavy pattern to the glass. I know these can go pretty high in stores, so I was happy to pay, I think it was $7. I lost the tag already, but I think it was like $7.98 or something. So that was a really good find. I think that's so pretty. And then last was this little jewelry box for $7.55. Ideally I would paint it, but honestly it's so hard to paint these with like the little handles and stuff, and it's in such good shape that I'm just going to sell it as is. I'll just give it a little cleanup. And that's everything I got. So not a ton of stuff, but a couple things that I'm going to DIY for today's video. Some days are so productive, and other days are like today, where just one thing after another is not going right for me. So I had like the staining fiasco with the children's hutch, but that's looking better now. But then I realized all of my paint that I have, any like shade of white, is so old. It's all dried out. I don't have any white chalk paint right now. So I'm going up to my treasure house, and I'm going ahead and bringing a few of the things that I thrifted today I'm putting them up in my booth while I'm going up there. So it's fine. It's just like one more thing I have to do, and I don't have my boys today, so I was hoping to get so much done, and it's just like everything's taking so long. But that's all right. I'm gonna go get this paint, and hopefully when I get back home, things will start to look up a little bit.
Building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go.
Next up, I have all of the pieces ready to assemble these party of signs. I haven't had these in my booth in literally years, but they used to be one of my best sellers. And a few weeks ago, I got everything kind of cut out and ready to go, and then just never finished the process. So all I need to do is staple these canvases onto the frames and then put a little hanger on the back so that they can hang on the wall. I have a full tutorial of making these in a previous video from like years ago. Maybe I'll try to like pull that up and republish it so more people can see it. These are so cute, honestly. I still really like them. They make a really good gift, and I just use my Cricut to cut this iron on vinyl and iron it right onto the canvas. So it's actually a super easy process. It's just kind of tedious to tear the canvas off of these frames. So the canvas that I'm using actually is on the frames to begin with. It's wrapped around the frames so you can't actually see the frames. And then you rip the canvas off, and that's where you see the frame that was exposed from underneath. You just stain the frame, kind of cut up the canvas itself, put the vinyl on. So I don't know, there's like a lot of steps. It's kind of tedious, but nothing about it's like very hard. It just takes a while to finish up. I was selling them for $22 in my booth, and it's a 12 by 12 frame. So honestly, they're a pretty good moneymaker for me in that regard, but I just need to have the time to do them. It's better if I try to do a bunch of them at once. But today, for now at least, I'm just gonna be putting these 3 together and then getting those up in my booth. I ended up going up with the classic white paint color from the Farmhouse Paint Company. This is sold up at my treasure house in Edwardsville, Illinois, where my antique booth is. And I'm just gonna put a couple coats of it on this frame and distress it. This will be really quick and easy. Now for this circle sign, I'm gonna actually do gingham again. I haven't done that in a while on my channel. But first of all, I need to just give this a nice clean white base. So when you're painting gingham, you're gonna start with your lightest color. That's almost always white for me. I just think that looks the best. So I'll go ahead and paint this white. And you wanna make sure that you're doing your stripes from the center and out. Don't start from one side and go over. It's not gonna look as good. I always start my stripes in the center. And then you're just gonna pick whichever direction you wanna go first. I don't think that really matters, but then you just go lightest color, medium color, and then where those stripes overlap, you're gonna paint your darkest color, kind of at that intersection. And that's how I get this most realistic looking gingham pattern. Some people will use the same color for the stripes going horizontally and vertically, but I like to do just a little bit different shade. I think that just looks a little bit more authentic. It's just my preference, really. After I paint them, I'll give them a light sanding. I think that just always makes it look a little bit better. And then I already spray painted this little wood cutout of the word hello. I'm just gonna put this right in the center of it. Now to finish this sign up, I'm just gonna take some Gorilla Glue and do a nice coat on the back of this word and just attach it right here. Sometimes I'll use my nail gun for this, but I felt like this board was a little bit more fragile. I didn't want to risk that I would break it or that it would just, like the word would just fall out eventually. Gorilla Glue has been used time and time again. It's very permanent. I have all the confidence that this will stay on there with just the use of the glue. And then just sit something on top that's kind of heavy to hold it down, and it should dry perfectly fine and be ready to be hung up on the wall. Now for these 2 signs, I literally just have 2 pieces of barnwood that have just been in my garage for ages. And I have this kind of like scripty welcome sign, and then this one that's more like a typewriter font. This one's thinner, and it's actually just like particle board, but this one's a little more solid and thicker. So I'm having that one go on the larger piece of wood and this one on the smaller. And I won't sell these for very much in my booth because they're such a simple project for me. But I think they'd just be really cute to sit on someone's shelf, or if they wanted to put it up on their wall. Just a cute little project that I can get done quickly, but can also make a good impact.
A bigger scale the world inhales as we go. I wouldn't want it any other way, no. Dreamy, breezy we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents.
Thanks again to Woodworkers Guild of America for sponsoring today's video, and a huge thank you to you guys for watching my content when I have sponsored videos. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!